Come on over and learn about Skullcap with me. Hey everybody. So we're going to learn about Skullcap today. A little disclaimers. I am an herbalist, I'm not a doctor, and I encourage everybody to do their own research. I have pulled a lot of information from notable websites and the knowledge in my head. I will put all the links that I found things from below in the description, and it will let you know where you can research further, because I'm only giving you like little glimpses of certain things, and the rest falls kind of from my head. So, yeah, Skullcap. I will be reading over here. I'm sure you know that by now. I appreciate you being here. Thank you. Skullcap is known for its potential benefits, including reducing anxiety, promoting relaxation, improving sleep quality. It may also have, well, it does have anti-inflammatory, antioxidant. There's more antis in there. We'll get to that. And those all support overall health. We know that. So it's sometimes spelled the Skullcap, and I'm not quite sure why. I mean, I spelled it like both ways, so it's just however I feel at the time. But the common name is Scutellaria. Scutellaria. It's a genus of flowering plants, and those are in the mint family, the Lamatia family. So, let's see here. Practitioners in traditional Chinese and Native American medicine utilize various parts of Skullcap. So the parts that are useful are like the roots and the leaves. Not so much the flowers, but I have not heard anybody say you can't use the flowers. If I'm wrong, be kind and let me know down below. I have not, I have used this actually. I'll show you that in a little bit. But not necessarily like harvested or forested it or harvested it myself. I haven't ever grown it. It doesn't seem to grow in my area that I've seen. And so I did purchase my herb online. So, and it was just the leaves. It's okay. Skullcap leaf, I guess, is really more specific. And yes, there's roots involved because they're extremely beneficial. We'll go over it. But let's see. Skullcap. I said it was in the mint family, the Lamatia family. This one that I'm specifically showing in the pictures is Scutellaria lateriflora. So that is probably the most known scientific, let's see, the most known type of skullcap in North America, and it's usually in a wet habitat. So I won't necessarily be talking about any gardening of it at the end of this because it's more about foraging it. I'll include that though. So there are multiple names for skullcap. I've only ever heard it called skullcap. There's also called mad dog and blue skullcap. Okay, I haven't heard that. Let me know if you have, and if you've heard any other names for it. So both of them describe a moderate-sized plant with blue or purple flowers, and they're going to call them blue more often than purple. They're purple. But the flowers pop out from the leaf bases on the main stem, There are other species of skullcap, but the blue ones, so they call them blue. The purple ones are the lateriflora. There are. We're going to go over one other species that is just as medicinal. Let's see. The blue one, the purple one, has the highest medicinal value because it contains very potent chemical compounds. And we're going to even talk about what they are too. And Skullcap, by the way, has been gaining recognition for an alternative treatment to ADD, ADHD. Let's see, and they've even looked into that it can help potentially with Tourette's. We'll see. This plant is sometimes used to treat symptoms like anorexia nervosa, fibromyalgia, and, as I said, Tourette's syndrome. But only the mild, and it's still in studies. But it won't hurt you if you want to try it, because there's like almost no side effects. Side effects that there are very specific, like interactions is what I meant, not necessarily side effects. Anybody can have a side effect. There's a lot to that statement. Anyway, so it's also used as a treatment for asthma. It can be a hangover remedy and can be even used to help you get rid of your hiccups. So the American skullcap, which is the Scutellaria lateriflora, is a perennial. So it flourishes the majority of the warm weather in North America. The leaves of American skullcap have been used in traditional herbal medicine. They have an association with calming properties, which practitioners often use to ease anxiety or even epileptic convulsions. Can't even imagine. Awful. So there's another species of Chinese skullcap. I'll get a specific picture of that here. Scutellaria baicalensis. I should have looked up how to pronounce that. Look at that. A native to several Asian countries as well as Russia. So the dried root, that's where you use the root. So in American skullcap, you would use the leaves more specifically, and in Chinese skullcap, you would use the roots more specifically. Even though the leaves and the roots of each one would still be considered medicinal. So they used it traditionally, the Chinese skullcap, for diarrhea, insomnia, dysentery, high blood pressure, hemorrhaging, respiratory infections, inflammation. Skullcap is available in capsule form, powder form, liquid extract, which is kind of like a tincture. Dried parts of the plant used are in its leaves for the American skullcap and the roots in the Chinese skullcap. So they both pretty much have the same components. It's just where you're pulling it from on the plant instead of the whole plant itself. But it's not like you can't use the leaves in the other one or the roots in the other one. So the constituents in both of these skullcap species have flavonoids, and this is why I wanted to not pronounce this other word because it's here again. because the Chinese skullcap gets its name from the component that's in it. Baicalensis? Maybe. And then there's baicalensis, Scutellaria, wagonin, quercetin, rutin. Those are all flavonoids. Go ahead, you can laugh at me. It's alright. I'm laughing at myself. Iridoids. I do not know why I can't pronounce things better today. Volatile oils, amino acids like glutamine and GABA. And then the glycosides. Let's see, the GABA usually works with your anti-inflammatory, keeping your inflammatory reactions down, and it provides neuroprotective properties. The baicalensis specifically is characterized by 3 phenolic hydroxyl groups, which contribute to the antioxidant activity. Baicalensis can cross the blood-brain barrier, impacting the CNS, central nervous system, activity directly. Sorry, I did read through this, but I don't have to know how to speak it to read it. So I didn't check. I'm sorry. So it has anxiolytic and nootropic effects on your brain and your body. So it really helps with cognitive. It helps with mood boosting. It helps with anxiety, which, hey, by the way, let me show you now, okay, because it works. So this is my Skullcap tincture. It's half gone. But I bought a skull tincture container at a shop in Gettysburg, and I love it. And this is what I put my Skullcap tincture in. So I didn't forage the Skullcap myself, but I did make the tincture myself. So I took some this morning, and for those of you who know me, it works. So that's helpful. We'll go over more of the benefits of it because I really have often benefited from Skullcap in my own personal life. So let's see. Ankylosing spondylitis. I don't think that's how you say it. It is a kind of arthritis. So Skullcap has been studied in people with that specific type of arthritis, and that it specifically affects the joints in the spine. So it has been known to help that. It's more effective than most of the sulfasalazine drugs that they usually use for that pain. Of course, they're still doing studies on it. So, but apparently it has been effective so far. Then there's gingivitis. So you can make it into an infusion, like a tea. That's usually what an infusion is. Generally, when an herbalist is talking about an infusion, they're usually talking about it like a tea. Because if you put it in alcohol, it's a tincture. If you put it in this is something else, and this is something else. There are a lot of words, and most of us do not actually use the correct words that there are to name things, but to get the point across, infusion is usually a tea. But so is tincture. But in alcohol, it's a lot. Anyway, so you'd make a tea, and then you basically would swish around in your mouth as like a mouthwash or something like that. But it's not like it reduces like the plaque buildup that causes the gingivitis. So it's really good for reducing gum inflammation. There's antioxidant compounds in it, so it neutralizes those free radicals that basically aid in our oxidative stress, which is anything that causes the cells to die, right? So we're all dying from oxidative stress. I am. And I'm trying to combat it. Okay, so it has also been known to help seizures, help prevent seizures. I don't know if it necessarily helps, like I'm helping prevent. Nobody's going to give you skullcap tincture or tea while you're having a seizure. So anyway, prevent seizures. Blue skullcap, which is the lateriflora species, the one that I pictured at the beginning specifically, has a relaxing effect on the body. So it has anticonvulsive, um, parasympathetic, parasympathetic. You do realize that it's one of the big words and the scientific words that I struggle with. Hopefully you understand. Sedative properties. Rest and digest, basically. So it calms the body to prevent seizures. I guess that was what the point of that was. An animal study evaluated an herbal extract combination of skullcap, glycemium, and Jimson weed, if you know, you know, on seizures. So they made an herbal extract combination of those three things. Findings showed that during the 30 days of treatment, those given the herbal extract combination displayed no seizure episodes after the herbal treatment ended. Seizure activity resumed. If they, you know, don't do that without somebody who absolutely knows what they're doing. Because the, if you know, um, generally poisonous. So I do know it does have some uses, but you would find that perhaps in a poison grenade. I want to have a thing. So improve sleep quality. So if it does have a rest and digest ability, then it's also going to improve your sleep quality, right? So a natural sleep aid, as I almost yawned. A study was conducted to test the phytochemical compounds in skullcap and their role and their role in binding the serotonin 7 receptor, and that serotonin 7 receptor specifically works with our body's circadian rhythm, regulating our sleep, which also regulates our mood. Because you can sleep all night long. I slept all night long last night, except for maybe toss and turn once or twice. But I woke up and I'm not normally very well rested anymore. I used to be. I have help with that, medical help, but it's I still don't feel rested most mornings, whether I sleep to my alarm or not. So I'm going to be testing out the Skullcap in that regard. I don't have it as often as I should, but I think I need to start figuring out how to put it into my regimen so that I can legit get restful sleep. If you know, not the other one though. So it boosts mood, reduces anxiety. The reducing anxiety thing is key for the majority of people in this world because it's just too busy, busy, busy. I am busy. I understand. I'm very busy. But um, my busy is, and this is just my very high point of the year. It happens at this point every single year, so I should have gotten used to it by now. Anyway, American Skullcap has been shown to boost mood and reduce symptoms of anxiety. A small, older 2013 study of 43 people found that those who received 1,050 milligrams of American Skullcap daily for 2 weeks reported significant mood enhancement compared to a placebo group. It's thought that American Skullcap positively affects the mood and reduces anxiety by stimulating the GABA, the gamma aminobutyric acid. It's a neurotransmitter that helps calm our nerves. This plant was used traditionally in medicine practices as a sedative and treatment for conditions like insomnia and anxiety. So I don't have insomnia, but relaxed sleep is what I need. Many anti-anxiety medications work similarly because they increase GABA activity. But this is one that specifically does it at the root. Like, it does it more naturally, where everything else from a doctor will do it synthetically. So it seems like they updated the app that I use to film this. So this is the third time I've tried. So let's hope it doesn't mess up this time because it's driving me crazy. I feel like a broken record. Okay, so we were just mentioning the Scutellaria barbata, or the barbate skullcap, because that's another one with very strong medicinal properties. I've never seen this variety, but it exists. So studies indicate that it is actually extremely powerful antiviral and antibacterial. It has been showed in test tube studies to prevent COVID because it blocks the key proteins and the viruses that infect the cells. So, like, they gave this test tube the tincture, or what they're calling an extract. It's basically kind of a tincture, kind of an extract. There are differences, but they're not easy to explain. But anyways, so they gave it this, and then they put the COVID-19 virus into it, and then it still didn't get COVID, but it killed it. Okay, so in another study, they sampled over 30 Chinese herbs and found that the barbata extract exhibited 100% antibacterial activity against XDRAB, which is a bacterium that is the leading cause of pneumonia for people in hospitals. There's a word for that kind of thing, the kind that you get in the hospital rather than the kind you get out. There's a difference. And what it's called, I can't remember. It's been a long time since I learned that stuff. 2013? 2012. I think I took the courses. 2013. Something like that. Anyway, this extract showed better antibacterial effects than colistin, which is an antibiotic. It's also been known to cure lung infections, reduce the bacterial load. Not really cure it. I guess it could, but I guess it depends on how bad it is. So in some test tube studies, the bicillin, which is that antioxidant compound, slowed down tumor growth, causing cancer cells to die and affecting necessary cell signals in the body. Research indicates its effectiveness against several types of cancer, including cervical, breast cancer, stomach, bladder, prostate cancer. Did I say cancer? Cancer. It basically works against those specifically in the studies. So, I mean, why it helps, and they call it anti-cancer, is because the amount of the antioxidants that are in it is stronger than others. And antioxidants, as we know, kill free radicals. Free radicals are caused by oxidative stress. Oxidative stress is what's killing us, because it causes inflammation, and that's what, when we have excessive inflammation, we can get sick. We can develop bad things in our bodies that make us sick. And if we have severe oxidative stress, guess what? We're going to get sick. And so when people get sick and have the oxidative stress, it breaks down the body and it makes it more susceptible to potentially, I'm hesitant to get into this. I won't get into it right now. But if you want to know, I will totally do a whole entire thing on that. So right now, I won't get into it. But if you want to know, let me know. I'll do a thing on it. Okay, so it reduces pain. And that is literally the main reason I took it this morning, is because I've been in a lot of pain recently. Found out I can't do spinny rides at amusement parks. I mean, okay, I've known I can't do spinny rides for quite some time, probably since my youngest was probably about 5, 3 or 4 or 5. I haven't been able to do them because we have an amusement park relatively close to us, and it is all spinny rides. All of them, except for the bumper cars. I do love bumper cars. So that's at least helpful. But I can't pretty much go on any rides when I go there. And we go there yearly for kids or company parties. Or I'm not ungrateful, just I can't go on anything. So what's the point? Anyway, but I got really, really sick when I tried. Bottom line, it was not fun at all. My husband was pretty cool about it. Like, cool as in, like, he helped me through it. Alright. Base point, it reduces pain. Skullcap possesses certain analgesic properties, meaning that consuming it can help relieve pain throughout the body, partially through a reduction of inflammation, and partially because it just helps with pain. So you can form a paste with dried leaves and apply it directly to areas that you might be experiencing pain if they're relatively superficial, I suppose. I mean, it will help with muscle, but it'll take longer and you'll probably be over it by that time. But it can boost the healing. Like if you're taking it internally and externally, then it'll boost things faster. Healing of the wounds and recovering from injuries. So small scrapes and bruises can be healed more rapidly by applying it topically, as the rich phenolic compounds and flavonoids stimulate blood flow in the skin and help prevent infection. Is there an herb that helps with stuttering? Okay. So we talked about how it soothes the nervous system. It just does. enhances the GABA, which basically just helps the whole central nervous system just relax. So people have suffered seizures, any spasmodic side effects, specifically in the nervous system, but I can't imagine that it wouldn't work, like if you have muscle spasms, especially if you do like internally and topically, like I was talking about. So it has been traditionally used to reduce seizure frequency and severity in patients with seizures. Adding Skullcap to drinking water once a day has also been associated with this positive benefit. So, what do we call it? Adding Skullcap to drinking water, that'd be tea, an infusion. Now, if they're adding a tincture to water, I don't know. Add my tinctures to my coffee in the morning. Anyway, it reduces toxins, which, because of its antioxidant properties. Skullcap has been associated with increased antioxidant activity in the liver, which is one of the slowest recovering organs, and this effect can significantly boost the efficiency of your liver. This reduces toxin levels in the body and blood, and therefore improving overall health and wellness. So we've talked about before, it's been a while, how liver is super important. And if you don't take care of your liver, you're not taking care of yourself. Gut health, liver, mental health. I mean, obviously our cardiovascular system too. But, that's coming up. It manages diabetes. The insulin and glucose regulation is essential, and it appears that Skullcap can increase the productivity of insulin by the pancreas and helps to regulate insulin levels in the body. It has also been linked to lowering cholesterol levels. That's a whole thing in itself. Don't get me started. So, in heart health, we just said cardiovascular. So, it basically helps you maintain a healthy cardiovascular system. How does it do that? I guess what? Reducing oxidative stress. That baicalensis, there's two, remember? It reduces, or it helps reduce heart damage. In one animal study, researchers observed that baicalensis injections significantly minimize damage associated with induced heart attacks. This evidence suggests that Skullcap may play a vital role in heart health by potentially protecting against ischemic damage. So it contributes to improved cardiovascular function. Weight loss. Guess what? How does it do it? Anti-inflammatory effects. And it has been known to reduce triglyceride levels. Which all of that helps with weight loss. It has antibacterial, antiviral effects, and those are most specifically in the Chinese skullcap. So according to a study in the Science Bulletin Journal, it has been applied in the treatment of diarrhea, hypertension, dysentery, inflammation, and respiratory infections. There are certain flavonoids that are extracted from the root of the Chinese skullcap. We said the root there. These flavonoids are reported to have pharmacological properties, including hepatoprotection, antibacterial, antiviral, antioxidant, neuroprotective. We talked about helping with the cardiovascular system. This is a good this is a good herb. So it also has anticonvulsant effects, which we did talk about. Insomnia, neurodegenerative diseases, heart health. So we're going to get into side effects. So the way you know that you're allergic to it comes at a cost. And it's super uncommon. They say it's, it's the interaction 1, it's the safety class A, whatever. We'll get there. But the point is that I'm getting snaps. Um, it will damage your liver if it's not good for you. But that is primarily involved with like taking supplements that have multiple herbs, not just the skullcap. So basically, a lot of people take multiple, like they get something from over the counter and they say, oh, this has all these herbs in it and they're all good for this. And so they're taxing their liver because the liver doesn't like to overwork, I guess is the way to put that. So it can damage your liver in the long run if you take too many herbs at once and don't give your liver a break. Okay. Chinese skullcap has also been associated with lung complications, but it is extremely uncommon. So, can't have this if you're on blood thinners. That's the way it is. And not on cholesterol lowering medications because it will also lower your cholesterol and then it'll make it too low and then you won't be able to think straight and you won't be able to, I can't think of the way to say it. You won't be able to gig it goo. That's how Charlotte Every says it. And also the cytochrome P450 substrate drugs, it will interact with those. But it is highly recommended to be taken as a tea. I obviously take it as a tincture. I have had it as a tea before as well. Yeah, it's basically, you're not supposed to overdo any herb. Remember that? We talked about that many times. Like, if you know that this herb is for your body and for this symptom, I'm not even doing a symptom thing here either. That's just how we see things. But if you're prescribed, for lack of a better way of putting it, by a functional doctor or an herbalist, a clinical herbalist, if they say, we're going to, watch your blood, watch this, watch that, they do all the blood work and everything, and they say you can take it up until forever, then okay, that's fine. But if you're going to go on Amazon, buy your herb or forage your herb, and then you're going to take it for 2 years, you're going to then have a blood test, and who knows, have you damaged yourself already? So my suggestion all the time is start low, start slow, and don't ever go more than, I think the max I've seen is 24 weeks, and then you have to give that same amount of time off of the herb. And then if your body still needs it, then you go back to it so like 12 on, 12 off, 12 on, 12 off, 24 on, off. And like, you don't need to go back onto it unless your body still needs it, because oftentimes it'll just go, hey, body, this is how you're supposed to work. And you'll be like, oh, yeah, that's right. And then you'll be able to work and it'll be fine. And that's where it's supposed to be, because it's supposed to help make your body work correctly, not mask the symptoms or avert the symptoms like pharmaceuticals. So you shouldn't have it on chemotherapy drugs. You should not have it on diabetic medicine. Don't take antibiotics like ciprofloxacin and penicillins. No Parkinson's disease medicines, blood pressure medicines, stuff like that. And it has a sedative effect, but like I took this much this morning in my coffee, and I'm not sleepy. So like you'd have to take that. To me is a very low medicinal um, value. Like it would be probably like a third maybe of the milligrams that I technically need to make it medicinal. So the reason I take it this way is because it just supports things rather than fixes things. Does that make sense? So, no mixing alcohol with Skullcap, and don't take medicine to drink. You're just not supposed to with anything. So it could increase sleepiness and stuff like that. But guess what? You won't sleep. Funny. Dosages. I'm gonna put some up here because there's a lot here. So, and you probably want to screenshot it or something, whatever you want to do. Typical doses are a dried herb, 1 to 2 grams, 3 times a day. Tea is usually like 240 milliliters 3 times a day. So, you know how to make a tea, right? 250 milliliters of boiling water over 5 to 10 milliliters of the dried herb. So you can do a tincture, 2 to 4 milliliters 3 times a day. For mood disturbance specifically, they say you could do 350 milligram capsules. The lateriflora, um, the whole aerial parts. So leaves, stem, flower, everything can be given 3 times a day for 2 weeks. And there was another website, and I should have cited which one I pulled it from. But anyways, tinctures can be 2 to 4 milliliters 3 times a day. Infusions, as they call it, a tea. 1 cup of boiling water to 1 to 2 teaspoons of the dried herb up to 3 times a day. Capsules, 400 milligrams 3 times a day. And that's all like just for like mood enhancing. They actually have more dosage suggestions for different ways of if you're using it for any of the different properties. So children can have Skullcap, but in small doses. The best method of delivery is mild tea. So it says 1 cup to 1 teaspoon of the dried herb if you're going to make a tea. So always start low dose, and then monitor your response. You have to know your body to make these work too. Life stories. If you want to know them, let me know. So those are like the biggies. Those are like the main things that Skullcap does for our bodies. As I said, foraging is all summer long in North America specifically. If you want the lateriflora, or if you want the other one. Oh my gosh, why can't I remember the words? The lateriflora and there we go, baicalensis. Let's go with that one. The Chinese Skullcap. Those are the two, and then the barbata. We're going to look that up. That'll be an interesting one to learn about, and even see what it looks like. Anyway, thank you so much for being here. This one a little long because I had issues. So, let me know what you think. Let me know what you know. Um, Thank you very much for being here. Thank you for making it all the way to the end of the video. I very much appreciate you because I'm trying to monetize this, and that just takes views and like full view time. So it is huge that you're here, and I appreciate it very much. You can join us over on Facebook group, They're Both Garden. We're 126K, I believe I saw this morning. I'm happy with it. I'm not going to complain. We're here on YouTube, and I do tutorials for other things occasionally. I have under non sequitur, I have TikTok too, but TikTok feels tiring sometimes. So, um, yeah, I'm on Blue Sky, Lemonade, different places, but I usually just advertise this on there. Snapchat, I'm very vocal on. Um, mhm, I got a lot of stuff. Come join the socials and ask questions and let me know what herbs you'd like to learn about. And because I believe Skullcap was one of the ones that was suggested. It's been a while and I needed to get it done. So let me know. I'll let you know. Have a great day. Take care.